Hey, what's up, Dean? Super Performance at the shop. It's been a little while because it has been a week. Firebird, you notice something missing from this area here. Not so much here, but here, because I tried to get the car running and it immediately just acted wrong. I don't know how to describe it, but it did not run right. It didn't run at all, but it wouldn't fire up at all. And in theory, being that the car ran when he dropped it off, really, I know we're changing compression and cam and, turbo and all that stuff, but reality is it should fire right up. The injectors are the same injectors, all that good stuff. What I don't know how to explain this. Basically, when he took the car, when the other motor had its head gasket issue or whatever it had, cracked block, whatever the issue was, when he had taken it back, I was very explicit. Drain the tank, put pump 93 or non-ethanol fuel. Non-ethanol fuel is preferable, and drive the car here so that it flushes all of the pump E85 out of the fuel system, completely through the fuel system, and we don't have to worry about nothing. He brought the car back. I tore it apart and asked him, did you drain it? Nope, I did not drain it. So, being that the car sat longer than I would have guessed it would have sat, the E85 just did its number on the injectors, and when I initially went to fire it up, it had 2 or 3 stuck injectors, which caused a lot of issues. The motor's completely back apart, and basically what happened was so much fuel went into the intake that it washed every cylinder completely dry and essentially locked the motor up. It locked up the pistons in the cylinders. So we sent out the injectors. I sent out the injectors regardless of what he wanted, because I knew that was the issue after pulling them, and I put them on my little tester, and they basically just filled the tubes as soon as you even tried to run like an idle test or any of it. So I sent them out. He did pay for them. And when I got them back, immediately noticed like car would barely crank over. And there was so many issues. The cam sensor was bad because now we went to the 4X cam gear, whereas you saw in a previous video they had just a blank cam gear, and they were using custom. They were using 58X crank, no cam, so they were doing bank-to-bank injection. They weren't doing sequential, so we switched all of that over. And this is where I kind of got in my head, was switching over to that cam sensor. Did that cause the no start issue? Because something else was wrong, and that wasn't the issue at all. So when I got the injectors back, the car just sat, for a week and a half. Sat, taking up space on the lift. I tidied up a few things. I filled in the frame. I plated in the frame, got all that done. Just went through and did a couple little tedious things that I could do. Changed out the fittings for like the stainless fittings. But there's only so much I can do, so much I can think of. I have a lot on my plate, and that's not an excuse. That's not anything, but when I ask something to be done and you just don't do it, you know, putting it back on me is whatever. Anyways, so the motor's, and you can see this is the bottom of the pistons, and that is bad fuel. Like every single piston, you could see the skirts on the piston are totally screwed up, the rings questionable, but it was literally, they were rusting themselves to the cylinder walls. And when I assembled the motor, I lubed everything beyond. Like, not only do I clean the block really good when it comes back from Rob, I hose them down with WD-40 so it doesn't get any kind of surface rust. And this is just from sitting for a few minutes, you can see, like, obviously this has oil in it now because I've rolled the motor over and spilled everything, and you know, but you can see the tops of the cylinders where the rings were like literally seating themselves and locking into the cylinders. And you never want this. Like, you just don't. Even the crank, like, spins over perfectly smooth. Because I put a ton of assembly lube. I oil everything really good. Like, I over oil everything. Rob would probably be very upset if he saw how much oil was in the cylinders, but I'd rather there be a little, like, you know, extra oil and it blows a little smoke for a minute. That's fine, whatever. Then run into an issue like this, or, you know, trying to dry start a car. But I mean, I've got, I don't know, maybe, you know, 15 minutes, which sounds like a lot. It's not constant cranking. You know, you're cranking, you're trying to diagnose, you crank, you try and diagnose. There's like 15 minutes. It took all of 15 minutes to basically destroy a brand new engine. So, you know, here we are, back to zero. Not quite zero, but I have no idea what it's going to take to get it running. The fuel, the oil is in that jug right there, and I just showed him. It's black and it just stinks, absolutely reeks of E85, pump E85, and it's thin, like thin as water. So it just washed all the oil. It didn't damage the crank, luckily. There's a couple little spots, like some trash had gone through the oil. You know, that's probably the worst bearing right there, and that's number 7. So one of the first ones to get oil is, I think. But, you know, some trash went through the bearings, or, you know, thinned it all out and made all this goopy crap, and that's what did all that. I don't know. But box parts, all brand new, really good stuff. So the other thing that I've been working on, I even went through swapping out the ECU, thinking the ECU was bad because the oil pressure sensor is no good, the cam sensor was no good, like the fuel pressure sensor is no good, the E85 sensor is no good, and both of those, both the E85 sensor he had originally on the car, and then it was taken back off when he brought it to me because it wasn't wired up, and you know, we basically wired everything else, and being that he was pump E85, really the content sensor is not going to do anything for us for what this car is being done, or what's being done with this car used for drag racing. So I you know, took a shot and I threw my ECU in, which is basically brand new from Holly, and that did nothing for the car. The car actually wanted to start, which was a little scary because it didn't sound good, and that was when I just called it quits and drained the oil and found that, and you know, and it was brand new, all VR1, no, not VR1. It was break-in oil. I can't remember the brand. Break-in oil, you know, the high zinc content break-in oil, jug of the Molly lube, liquid Molly. I don't know. in the couple of days that I had between the injectors, I built an engine run stand. This is the small block out of the airboat. So I cleaned everything up, put it back together, all new head gaskets, oil pan, different oil pan on it, more of a car style oil pan. Put it all back together. It's got an HEI. It's got the old Demon carb off the Nova, which I probably need to take it apart, clean it. The water pump from the airboat. I changed the alternator bracket from what he had on the airboat because it was a really ugly, that bracket there. So I changed the bracket over to an ICT billet water pump, electric water pump style bracket, which I'd imagine you can use that on a factory pump. You just probably have to shorten up the spacers. But whatever. Got it all together, got it on there. I just whipped up these mounts. These are for small block Chevy, but in doing this, because we're selling this, so I'm gonna fire it up, get it running on here, prove that it runs. People can come look at it, it'll run. And really, it's just unbolt the bell housing bolts and unbolt the motor mount bolts and take it away. The old bell housing I had, it's a small flex plate bell housing, so I just cut the bottom off of it. Doesn't matter. So this is what I built. I put a switch pad on it with a start button, water temp, oil pressure. I haven't finished wiring it all up because the injectors came back and I started on this. But the benefit to having one of these is A, you can run every motor that you get, whether it be a junkyard motor, a fresh build motor. You could put it on here with a carburetor and make it work. And you can visually see through the top, you know, if it's puking fuel into the motor, you don't try to start it. But that is what we will do with the 4.8 that I got back, that Rob did like all the block work on. It's basically a stock 4.8, and then I got the cam kit, and I happened to get a carbureted intake for it because we'll run all the LS's carbureted. This is the Cathedral port one, so I'll get an LS3 one, and when he gets that back, we'll put it on the engine run stand. We'll fire it up with carburetor, do the break-in on it. This way I know it's got oil pressure, I know everything works. And that's the other thing, I couldn't even change this sensor in the car without taking the intake off. So like, we can avoid that on the stand. Carbureted intake, something's bad, change it, be done. So yeah, it's kind of where we're at. So the Firebird's going outside. I need it gone. It's put me 2 weeks behind, pretty much waiting on injectors to come back and then fighting with it. Actually, here, this is the oil pan. So it has the 296 oil pump. It's got the O-ring. That's the oil. Like, it's just black. You can see down in there. It's absolutely disgusting. So I'm gonna push this car out. I'm gonna bring the black Camaro, which is out there. You kind of see the front end right there. And these are all his parts. I think I showed him this whole shelf of parts, not this box, but turbo, that's not his. That's not his. Yeah, here's all his. Fuel injectors, looks like blow off valve, I think wastegate, filter, boost control, everything's here. This is all 3-inch intercooler, the whole piping kit, the Deechworks fuel, I showed that last time. The intake, a little bit different than the one that's on the red Camaro. The whole tick kit is here. Everything is here to put that car together. So I need to move that out bring the black one in, and first thing Monday, just start tearing into that, because we are right at the point of Christmas, and I kind of wanted to have that car out by Christmas. I thought that would be a good kind of gift for him. So I don't know where we're going to be at with getting that done by then, because today is 19th or something like that. 20th. Cool. Today's the 20th, so Christmas probably not going to happen. Hopefully get it done by New Year's though, because it is essentially a bolt-on kit. He did this exhaust, a little catch can, which I don't think I'll use that one. These go back, and then some valve covers and ethanol content sensor. So I had a box of stuff. I more and more I 3D print more and more car parts. So for him, yeah, this is a 3D printed piece with a mount. The mount flips down, but it's got a bolt in it. It's got the hole in the bottom. This will be for the boost controller, and he can kind of decide where he wants to mount this, whether it be on the center console or up on the dash, or even hang it on the A-pillar. So he can kind of decide on where he wants to mount that. But I 3D printed a bunch of these, and ethanol content sensors, the little holders. So that little holder down there snaps in the Continental style 3D printed piece. I don't know where they are. A whole box of stuff. Oh, I bet you this is it right here. Come on. Yep. Nope. That is a diesel tuner for sale. So, oh, there they are. So we've got, oh, I didn't print any of the other gauge. Ranger, 3D printed, body. This is a Mac valve holder. So you slide the Mac valve up in there, and then the 2 bolt holes on the Mac valve will go through. I got some cleaning up to do. I didn't kind of whip these out. This is a different style Mac valve holder. The Mac valve slides up and in, and then the Deutsch connector actually clips on right here, which is pretty cool. Yeah, and you already know I did the pass-throughs for the hoses on the Firebird. So starting to do more and more stuff. We'll start putting stuff up on the site. Start selling some of that 3D printed stuff. They're not files that I create. They're files that other people have created, and they work really hard, and we appreciate it. So I take no credit for designing any of it. But anyways, that is it. I got to push this car out, drive that one in, so that Monday I can get to work. So appreciate you watching. Like, subscribe, hit the bell to be notified of new videos. Leave me a comment. As always, have a good day.